Usually have the water from the tap water because I feel like this is safe and it has all the minerals that my fish need. And I feel like any other water bottles or distilled water or purified water, they kind of are not as good as tap water for my fish. And when I'm doing these steps, I feel like over time this is just safe for my fish. I'm not adding anything chemically into that water. Anyways, so I want to show you how, first of all, do you measure how much water you have and how much of dechlorination chemicals such as prime, which is I'm going to use today, you're going to need to add. So I have 2 cups, which is 16 ounces and half a quarter. In other ways, these 2 cups equals 500 mils. So I have this bucket that I'm going to keep filling up and then see how many of these cups I'm going to add here, and then do my calculations to figure out how much decoloration to add. So let's start. So 1 cup, 2 cups, and I'm going to keep going and going, and I'm going to show you how many I put in here and then show you the calculation. Okay, so I did almost fill up this bucket, and what I have is 25 of these. And the next step is to measure how much prime to add. So this is my prime, and it says concentrated conditioner for marine and freshwater, removes chlorine and chloramine, detoxifies ammonia, nitrite and nitrate, and that's it. And it's 1 liter, which is really large and big. I would say it will be enough for years for you. So if you see here the instructions, it says 1 liter treats 40,000 liters, which is 10,000 US gallons. I'm gonna go with the liters because I found it much easier to calculate. I guess you can easily also convert it to gallons on Google. So it says use 1 capsule. 1 capsule equals 10 milliliters for each 400 liters, which is 100 US gallons of new water. So what I'm gonna do, it says 10 milliliters in 400 liters, and this is the capsule. Like what they're talking about is this will hold 10 mils if you fill it up. So this is enough for a really huge amount of water. So what we need is a really tiny amount. That's why we need to calculate and make sure we're doing it correctly. So it says 10 mils in 400 liters, and then we do equal X over I have 25, by the way, so 25, let me get my calculator. So here, 25 times 500 milliliters. So I have this much milliliters, and I wanted it liters because my other total is in liters, 400 liters. So 12,500. Let me go to Google. 12,500 milliliters to liters. So it says 12.5 liters. So what I'm gonna do is, in 10 milliliters is enough for 400. How much milliliters is enough for 12.5 liters? And then equals to, so you're gonna times 12.5 times 10, which is gonna become 125 divided by 400. So let's do that. So as I said, it's gonna be 12.5 times 10 equals 125 divided by 400. And the final result is a really tiny amount, 0.31. Let's say 0.30. So we have 0.30 mils. So how I usually calculate that, I have pharmacy syringes. These syringes, and they have all the really tiny amount of calculations. If you can see, I don't know, it's not gonna zoom, but anyway, so it's gonna say 0.5, 1 mil, 1.5 mil, 2 mils, 2.5, and it's a 3 mil syringe. So we calculated 0.3, so it's gonna be even less than 0.5, which is it's gonna be 1, 2, 3 lines of this capsule. So pretty much this really tiny amount. And how I do it is I put a little bit in the capsule and then I draw from there. So each line is pretty much 0.1 milliliters. So let's do it. I know there's a little bit of calculation happening here, but I know it's worth it. Over time you're gonna get a really good handle of these conversions. And if you use the same amount of water each time, so every time you're going to use the same amount, so it doesn't need your every time calculation. Okay, so this is my prime in the capsule. Let's take it. Okay, I have 0.4 now. Going down. Have 0.3. Okay, I don't know if you can see. So this is my 0.3 milliliters of prime, and then I'll add it to my 12.5 liters of water here. So I just go around, and that was it. It was really tiny. So it's gonna get mixed here. So what happens is I'm gonna leave this usually for 24 hours because I want to make sure everything is dechlorinated. The water temperature is gonna turn into the room temperature and so forth, so that it's a much better quality when I add it to my aquarium. Let's add the extra water. Put the water in. So I put my lid off. And I use the same cup, and then like little by little I want to add to the top. Take this. Okay, I think it's enough. It's filled. So I don't know if you noticed, but the sound is definitely changed if I go close to it. I don't know if you see the difference, but I can definitely hear the difference. It's much less, and I love it. Yeah, I mean, there's still a little bit of space left, but I don't want to like overfill it. But at the same time, it's good enough, I'd say. So yeah, this is how you calculate how much prime to add to your bucket. And one important thing is, do not add your tap water directly in here and then add prime to it, because first of all, it takes some time for that dechlorinator, that prime amount, to actually get into effect. And second of all, if you add the extra water here, tap water here, then when you calculate your prime, it's gonna be based on, this is 10 gallon, it's gonna be based on how much gallon your fish tank is, how much water is already in there. So pretty much you're gonna add much more dechlorination into your fish tank, and you have to calculate it based on how much water is in there, not how much water you added, because all the new color is spread throughout your whole fish tank, right? So that's kind of like a hassle of adding too much extra chemicals in there. Your fish is gonna be directly exposed to that chemical, and it's just waste of chemicals and everything else. So I feel like having a bucket on the side, doing how I showed you, leaving it for at least 24 hours out before you adding it to your fish tank, is a really good solution of adding water to top of the evaporated section. And yeah, so hopefully this video was helpful for you. I know for the first timers, beginners, that calculations for prime is like weird, and it might take some trial and error to get used to it. And for sure you don't want to add much extra than what you should do, then it's gonna also toxify your fishes. So it's very important for even the first time for you to know how much to add that prime into your new water. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful, and thanks for watching my video.